Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of Kaiserreich, and today we're playing as the Ottoman Empire. So, I'm really excited to play as the Ottoman Empire, and let's first read what's this about. First, I wanna say that I really don't have a particular path in mind that I wanna go for, so I'm just going to decide on the go. I know I want to keep as much territory as possible, and we'll see how it goes. So, let's start off. The Ottoman Empire before the Weltkrieg. The Ottoman Empire, once one of the greatest empires in history, saw its decline commence in the late 18th century, developing to the point of being known as the sick man of Europe. By the early 20th century, an inability to effectively industrialize, constant foreign meddling in its affairs, and a troubling hold on a lot of its provinces meant that the Ottoman Sultanate had fallen back well behind the European powers by 1876. Nonetheless, the Ottomans reformed, and despite the challenges they posed on a local level, where tribal issues and a corrupt bureaucracy reigned supreme, light could be seen. Prompted by Mahmud II in the early 19th century and further pursued by the young Ottomans, radical changes were introduced in the empire. Land ownership was restructured, the Janissaries eradicated, central rule re-established in regions such as Mosul and Al-Hassa, and a constitution promulgated. The focus of these reformers was based on the idea of Ottomanism, and attempted to foster a common identity for all its inhabitants besides their local one. It would not be enough. With Abdulhamid II's rise to power, a change would come once more. I'm sorry if I butchered these names. So a little rundown of Kaiserreich. I'm gonna tell you what I know. It's a mod for HOI4, of course, and it's an alt history mod where the German Empire actually wins the First World War, or the Weltkrieg, as they call it. So Germany wins, I mean the Central Power wins. Germany wins, and Austria-Hungary, Bulgaria, Ottoman Empire, they win. And the French and the British go into communism. I mean syndicalists, actually. Into syndicalism. And the Italians, they go into a revolution. There's a socialist part, there's a, I don't know what's this, liberal faction. Social liberal, oh my god. And conservative. And there's Rome, Papal State, which is neutral, I don't know. Okay, so let's go. We have Abdulmecid II, Sultan of the Arts. Abdulmecid II was born on May 29th, 1868. To then Sultan Abdulaziz as his oldest son. Abdulmecid was also first in the line of succession. This changed after his father was murdered and replaced by Murad V, whose younger brother then became the primary heir to the empire. During his early life, Abdulmecid enjoyed private education inside the walls of the palace, where he developed interests in music and arts. However, as per Ottoman traditions, he was not allowed to leave the palace until he had reached the age of 40. Still, he was happy, and over time grew increasingly content with the fact that he'll probably never be a sultan. In 1908, the year in which the Young Turk Revolution took place, Abdulmecid was finally old enough to leave the palace. He used his newfound freedoms to share his love for art and music with the world. He became the chairman of the Ottoman Artists Society, exhibited his paintings and all over Europe, met with some of the most prominent musicians of the continent and learned to play new instruments. Even though Abdulmecid would have likely wanted to dedicate his entire life to music and arts, the world had bigger plans for him. On the 4th of July 1918, his first cousin Mehmed VI was crowned Sultan, a development which once again saw Abdulmecid become the heir apparent to the throne. After Mehmed had died 8 years later, Abdulmecid succeeded to the throne and was crowned Sultan of the Ottoman Empire and Caliph of all of Islam. For most people this would have been a dream come true, but for Abdulmecid it was something he had never truly wanted. His apathy was one of the many reasons for why the Grand Viziers appointed during his reign managed to decrease the already diminished influence of the Sultan even further, turning him into nothing but a popular figurehead that mostly keeps away from politics, and whose main role it is to present the empire abroad. By now, the political power of the Sultan has come to an all-time low, and it seems unlikely, if not impossible, that this will change in the near future. So we have stability of the realm, stability -3, 32%, institutionalized Islam, -20% political power gain and 10% stability, widespread illiteracy, research speed -15%, armed neutrality, 1% recruitable population, stability 10%, war support -10%, division defense and core territory +5%. Okay. So let's go research. I want to do this. I want to do this. Oops. And let's go this. Okay, no template, 3 civilian factories. Are we? We have 9 military and 19 civilian factories. Let's build a civilian factory here, and then build a military factory 60%. It's built here. The roads are, the infrastructure is really awful. Let's do here, here. Okay, that's it for now. 3 military factories. Let's see, what do we need? Close air support. Let's build some interval close air support airframe. I think this is from Arms Against Tyranny. I'm not really that... Let's build that. I don't know. I really don't know. Let's put that. Then 3 dockyards. Build ships. Let's build some convoys. I'll need convoys, and can't build that. Build some cheap. What's the cheapest? Let's build some cheap stuff. Carry a task force, raiding fleet. So raiding fleet. Okay, it's going to be really cheap. And let's put. Oh, we'll keep that low because we have really low resources. Okay. Tree is not that big, but it's okay. It's... So we have... I don't know what this is. This is like improvements to the army. Yeah. Building... Navy, air... Oh, the game is going. The Ottoman economy in 1936, aftermath of the infamous decade. And the dust settled in 1920, and there finally came an end to almost a decade of non-stop war. The economy of the Ottoman Empire lay in tatters. The manufacturing economy which had seen a slow but steady growth in the CUP era was knocked down as the effects of the Armenian massacres took their toll on the educated middle class. Doctors, engineers, entrepreneurs, etc. all became critical jobs as a continued exodus by Greek Ottoman citizens in Asia Minor showed how devastating the national economy plan was to the ravaged nation. In a similar way, the agricultural sector was ruined as the real effects of the war started to sink in. The loss of the Anatolian Turkish population was mind-boggling, as almost 25% of the pre-war population was gone, leaving behind an abundance of land without the manpower to work it. Nonetheless, the Sublime port did not sit idle, and plans for a swift recovery were quickly drafted. As the first post-war cabinet made it their #1 priority, railroads left behind by investors of nations no longer existing were nationalized. The dreaded OPDA was completely shut down and its monopolies transferred over to the state. The National Economy Program became the #1 priority for the Ottoman government as the horrors of the war and reliance on an untrustworthy non-Turkish population left deep scars amongst the ruling elite. A Muslim bourgeoisie had to be groomed to challenge the traditional Christian dominance that people educated and the empire finally launched into the 20th century. Grand plans, but little resources. Guess when the Ottoman economy in 1936, an era of growth. The Ottoman economy in 1936, an era of growth. As years ticked by and the economy reached its pre-war state by the late 20s, the then ruling HOI4 took development to the next level. Consequently, four-year plans were laid on the table and the hold of the government on the economy was tightened even further. Then, in 1931, the unthinkable happened. As the nationalist coalition was decisively brought down by the liberal Entente, who reopened the economy to foreign investment and toned down the etatist measures so carefully crafted in a decade before. Nonetheless, the economy kept expanding as interstate popped up all across Anatolia and the Levant, financed by an almost never-ending wave of economic prosperity in the German Empire, and low import costs for machinery and building materials. I'm sorry. By the middle of the 30s, the Turkish economy had never seen better days, as a feeling of euphoria and progress could be felt from Beirut to Smyrna. Nonetheless, many have pointed out warning signs on the horizon, as increasing instability of the continent and the stagnation of the German economy will likely bring issues to the Grand Orient as well. Praise the Daulat I can't really pronounce it. Eternal State, okay. Okay, so let's go national focus. I mean, I only have one choice, so let's go expand the education ministry. Effects guest event vote on the education decree. Failure to push through the education decree could have severe consequences. Okay. So how manpower we have around 40k, 400k. Really logistics. We really lack everything. Really infantry support train. So I'm not going to train new units. So let's put this. Let's do this. Put them. Oops. Where is it? Outline. Them here. These. Okay. Them here. These can go. Other one. Let's group all these. Actually, let's put them these. New for them, and this. We won't put them here because they're just gonna put a fallback line. Really? But like here. Okay. If I remember correctly, I think this state actually tries to they rise. They try an uprising. So I don't know. I don't know if I should probably put some units here. Let's move you. As you're here, all of this. Let's put a fallback line around Tripoli. Like that. That works. So like that. So, I also have this here, but I don't really care about that. Okay. Decisions available. Okay, this regular decisions centralization of the Syrian lands. Integration of Syrian vilayets 25%. When integration of Syrian vilayets reaches 50%, the Syrian states can be upgraded to vilayet status, and then it reaches more than 100%. They can be upgraded to Ottoman province status. More info of the grids. Okay. Autonomous region. Vilayets. Cool. Of Greek islands. We can also do. Okay. Kurdish lands. Cool. And then Arab Peninsula. Nice. Iraqi lands. Tripolitanian lands. Yeah. There's a lot we can do. But we have no political power right now to do anything. Okay, let's see. Insufficient resources. Yeah, we really. I can maybe. How does Serbia hold so much steel? Let's go with the German Empire. No, don't. German Empire. Let's do one. Okay. So. Let's unpause, bring it to 4. See what happens. President Kerensky assassinated. Okay, here's the educational debate. In the Meklisi Mebusan, I've really butchered that, but the fight over the minds and spirits of the population has been vigorously fought over the last few decades, as the unrelenting pace of modernization has also greatly affected this field. Started deep into the 19th century, the reforms have steadily progressed over the years, mostly carried by the secularist movement. The OHF has continued this conflict post-Weltkrieg, with first the participation of women in higher education and official full co-education only a few years later, promoted by Sultan Abdulmecid II. Nonetheless, the policy is finding it hard to be fully implemented on the ground as heavy opposition from the conservative ulema and the continued split in the various education systems makes any centralization hard to accomplish. The Ottoman education system, consisting of three main branches, remains divided, and even though the Itadi and Sultani reformist schools established by the Tanzimat reforms have been united into one distinct curriculum, the Majlis's religious education and minority schools, protected by the millet system, remain a thorn in the side of the Ministry of National Education, long a staple of the OHF. It has detailed its plans to unite all three systems, place them directly under the ministry, and to streamline the curricula to both promote social cohesion and make it more approachable to the common citizen. Over the last few years, primarily during their first tenure in 1927, massive strides were made towards accomplishing this goal. But the subsequent decentralized government of 1931 has overturned this policy once more in favor of education on a vilayet level, as such causing a divide in both the quality and accessibility of education depending on efforts of the Wali. Now that the OHF is firmly back in the saddle, it has brought to the table the sum of its designs, the Co-Education and Unification Act, finally putting to law the full unification of education in the entire realm and the forced co-education of male and female. The party has found itself up against a wall of conservative forces funded by the powerful Sufi lodges in an attempt to prevent their power over the government to fade. Change is in the air. Majlises fight back against the OHF. Political power poster denies. Okay. How are we doing with the logistics? Maybe I can now do a these are cavalry, infantry, also infantry. Put them, I don't know. Can I put them in? Okay. Second of July. So about 1 year. Oh no, not 1 year. About 2 months. 4 months. 5, I don't know. Okay. Majlises fight back against the OHF. A petition signed by 300 ulema from across the empire has reached the desk of the Grand Vizier earlier this week, as the nearing vote on the Co-Education and Unification Act is stirring up commotion throughout the nation. Nonetheless, there is no united opposition to act, as even within the ulema themselves. Many are seeing the benefit of centralized education, with some even openly expressing their support for the act. The vote approaches. Change in popularity of social conservatism 3%, political power minus 10%. Okay. Let's pace up a little. Okay. National focus completed. Black Monday. Kids. The fifth Anglo-Afghani war. Afghanistan declared war on India. Okay. Vote on the Education Decree, including the controversial Co-Education Unification Act, the Meclisi Mebusan Chamber of Representatives were presented today with a wide variety of decrees and plans by the modernist OHF. As the OHF has a majority in the House after their 1935 electoral success, many are worried that the Sultan may interfere through the Senate, whose members are almost entirely appointed by the Padishah himself. known for being a devout Muslim and sharing many of the conservative tendencies of the opposition. The Sultan has kept himself absent from the political process ever since his ascension 10 years ago, either because of a general apathy, or some whisper out of fear that what happened to Abdulhamid II may yet happen to him as well. With the future of religious education through the majesties now on the line, however, many expect the Caliph of Islam to finally take a stance against the secularists. The law is passed. Change in popularity of authoritarian democracy, 5%. Education decree will be passed. Cats event, the Grand Vizier speaks to the international press. Or change in popularity of authoritarian democracy, -5%. Game-based ability, -5%. The education decree will be stopped in the Kaiserreich. Cats event, Co-Education Unification Act fails. Let's see. HOI4 is an authoritarian democrat. I don't know. Let's pass though. I like popularity. I like stability. Let's go to law is passed. Grand Vizier speaks to the international press. Speaking to editors of both Constantini and the international papers, the Grand Vizier has given a statement on the success of the vote and the expansion of the ministry. The decision taken by the Ottoman parliament today is what the nation had wanted naturally and genuinely. There is no need to look at it as something extraordinary. Showing off the stack of letters he had received from intellectuals all over the empire, the Pasha has once again shown to the international press that the people stand behind him. Whether or not this is actually the case is left vague, and the opposition papers are already describing vividly how this is an affront to the proud tradition of our state. A grand success for the Ottoman nation. Game-based stability, 3%. Okay, I like stability. Nothing opened. Yeah, nothing opened. So, do we want to found the Judicial Commission? Place the penal code. Let's go. Mission. Okay, I think this is a perfect time to end this video. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.